is Midlife Mutiny.
Yep.
Very special edition because today is August 12th, which you will learn about later. Anyway,
Stay tuned for that.
tuned.
You're on the edge of your seat.
So something, most people who are watching this are artists. You're filmmakers, you're writers, you're educators. You have gone outside the mold of what has been expected of you. And after very careful research, not really, but after having a lot of conversations with my students and with people, it has been brought to my attention that most artists, something happened in their lives between the ages of 9 and 13, which kind of propelled the trajectory of their
10,
lives.
11, 12.
And you may have taken, a detour until now, but something happened then that kind of set the course in your heart of what you truly wanted to do. So, Brooke Purdy, what happened in your life between 9 and 12, 13 that made you want to be who you are?
Okay. My moment from 9 to 13, at the time I actually wanted to be, I was riding horses. So I wanted to be a professional horseback rider. But my moment from 9 to 13 when I keyed into writing for the first time was, reading was my first escape, by the way. Even more than TV, if you can believe it. And that was some Starsky and Hutch, like serious TV time that I I chose not to partake in for books. But I was visiting my grandparents in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. And I had some cousins there and I would go stay with them and they were all older. They were like teenagers. And I was maybe 8 or 9, and I would listen to, my dad had these comedy records, and I would listen to, and it's bad form now, but you got to know that back in the day, Bill Cosby was the shit as far as comedy albums, and he had an album called Wonderfulness, and there was a cut on it, a bit about him smearing Jell-O, like to get rid of it. He was home alone. And how he would imagine that this monster was coming to eat him. So he was going to smear Jell-O like all over the basement. But it was like this 8-minute bit. And I listened to it so much because it made me laugh so hard. And it was so well told. Like the man could spin a yarn back in the day. It was so well told that I went on this ride with him for 8 minutes, like an auditory ride. And it was brilliant writing and brilliant delivery. So I memorized it. Cut to me in this garage. Like all these teenagers were hanging out. And I was just over at their house, just whatever. At my cousin's. And it was like, I swear, it was like 15, 20 teenagers because they had the hangout house like in the garage. It was summer in Michigan. And for some reason, somebody asked me something and I launched into this story. And I was 8 years old and it was this whole 8-minute thing. And I just remember having a garage full of teenagers just laughing, like tears coming down their faces. And I remember my cousin Holly, who was 17 and I thought was the most amazing, pretty, funny, older kid. I remember she was hugging her boyfriend and she drooled on his shoulder because she was laughing so hard. And I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do forever.
Steal Bill Cosby.
I want to plagiarize comics bits and deliver them to garages full of teenagers in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan.
That's a great story.
Yes, honestly though, and to this day, I'll still occasionally hear from Holly and they'll be like, do you remember when you, because it was this random thing, like Rain Man, counting cards. I was just quiet, believe it or not, I was quiet. And I would just watch, and then I busted out with this thing like Vegas in this garage. And that's when I keyed into the power of words and constructing them in the right way and delivering them in the right way. And it planted the seed, A, for comedy for the rest of my life, and B, for well-written, a well-delivered sentence or structure or the power of words. So that was my weird ass moment.
I love that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about you.
It was a weird thing. It wouldn't really come up in normal conversation.
I had a bunch of those moments, but probably the most definitive one was when I was 13 and it was my bat mitzvah, and I decided, with my parents' encouragement, that I was going to run the show myself. I invited the rabbi to show up, but I was going to be the rabbi at my own bat mitzvah, which meant I was going to direct it, produce it, and write it myself. So I wrote a book. I had a bat mitzvah book. It was orange on the cover, and I sat and I was at my bima, and I kind of held the audience hostage for 2 hours while I read poems and told stories and invited people up to sing songs. But it was my bat mitzvah, so I wanted to be run the way that I did. And I loved that feeling that I was reading poems that I had written, and I was singing songs, and all the attention was on me. And I thought, that's it.
And don't you have to do like official things? Like,
oh, I did. I read the Torah, that piece of cake. It was all the fun stuff.
How was it? Do you have film of that?
I had pictures. I had that Farrah Fawcett hair, and I still have my bat mitzvah book.
I think we need at least a picture, like in the comments or something.
Okay. So I have a great picture. Very, 1980. So please let us know what happened to you between the ages of 9 and 13 that made you become who you are, that led you to watch Midlife Mutiny. Share it with us, and you may be surprised yourself what moment it was that defined what kind of artist you were going to become.
Or person, or, it might be something totally unrelated that came back around to feed who you are today.
Like the person who goes to the grocery store and picks up a magazine about what their lucky day is.
Wait for it.
So when I was at the grocery store the other day, I got one of those magazines that you get as you're about to check out because it tells you how to lose weight. Magazines for $2.98 have all the answers. So I got it, and I happened to be leafing through it, and at the end it said, "What is your lucky day?" And so I looked, and my lucky days this month are August 10th, 11th, and 12th. So then I took it one step further. I looked up Brooke's lucky days, which are August 12th, 13th, and 14th. So we overlap on August 12th, which means today, August 12th, extraordinary things are going to happen to the two of us.
Some heavy shit, in a good way, is going to go down today on the 12th. So we just wanted to mark. We wanted to mark this day on the 12th because some really epic shit is going to happen.
Because the magazine told us, and we overlap on this day. So
yep, the 12th today. So we're here saying,
come at me, bro.
Here's to our imminent success.
It's coming today.
We're gonna.
Magazine told us.
Wait a moment for that.
This has been a very special episode of Midlife Mutiny.
Has not yet, but any minute.